It is said that the souls of the members of the American Hunters Association are damned, whether by the concoctions they drank to gain otherworldly powers, or by their greed and own acts of violence against their fellow hunters. In the decades prior to the 1890s, many hunters sought out the mysterious wellspring, believing it could save their souls from eternal torment, yet this only led to more bloodshed between the members of the AHA. However, in doing so they tracked down and closed countless demonic rifts. Where these rifts led to is unclear, yet it appears to be the realm of the Sculptor, and is without a doubt a source of supernatural power. During the 1890s, a darkness began spreading throughout the Bayou of Louisiana, a darkness that caused an incurable sickness to spread among the inhabitants, a darkness that saw the dead come back to life and vile monsters haunt the swamps. Yet many believed the stories coming from the Bayou to be nothing more than fantasies of the idle. The official statement from Governor Foster was that this was no epidemic and just an affliction of the poor. He couldn't have been more wrong. The American Hunters Association had confirmed the presence of a Sculptor, a being with the ability to warp and control the bodies of mortals. The AHA had come across beings with similar powers in the past, yet Dr. Philip Huff Jones immediately recognised this Sculptor as a being of extraordinary power. Many believed the Louisiana Sculptor to be a lure, or a demon. Some even thought it to be Beelzebub, the Lord of Flies himself. Whatever the Sculptor's true identity, it posed a greater threat to Louisiana and the rest of America than anyone had realised. The Sculptor spread its influence throughout the Bayou in the form of a sickness, slowly transforming those infected into grunts. But this was not the Sculptor's only weapon. Its ability to manipulate flesh and create monstrosities allowed the Sculptor to forge creatures from the very depths of human nightmare. The hive was one of its earliest creations, the infected hornet-like insects inhabiting the exposed chest cavity of their host, able to spread a poison to those unlucky enough to venture too close to the hive. The hive was not the only vile creation to haunt the Bayou. The Sculptor is believed to be responsible for the creation of hellhounds, packs of vicious demonic dogs who stalk the Bayou in search of human flesh. The Armoured is unlike the other creations of the Sculptor. It does not infect its prey with poison. Instead, it is protected with chitinous shell. Then there is the Meathead, a colossus being, rotten flesh infected by giant maggots. With its head missing, the Meathead lumbers around the Bayou, the maggots its eyes and ears. Those unfortunate enough to be caught by the maggot's bite become infected and a target for the Meathead, an enemy every member of the AHA fear getting caught by. Then there is the Immolator, an enemy to the AHA and any innocent souls who wander into the Bayou, yet it is believed to be a creation of a different being, a lure whose affinity to fire is what gifts the Immolator with its powers. Whether this lure stands against the Sculptor is unclear. It does, however, stand in the way of the American Hunters Association. The ultimate goal of the Sculptor is unclear. There appears to be no reasoning behind its actions, yet each of its creations is carefully designed to serve a purpose. Perhaps the Sculptor seeks the total annihilation of humanity, perhaps it seeks to carve out a kingdom of its own, or perhaps it just seeks to cause chaos wherever it goes, claiming the souls of the innocent as its prize. With the Sculptor's influence and power rapidly growing, the American Hunters Association was struggling to hold back the tide of infected. Factions began forming within the AHA. Each group had their own agenda, and it wasn't long before the American Hunters Association started to fragment. Groups such as Reverend Isham-Gird's religious fanatics believed the Sculptor to be the devil himself, fervently believing every creation of the Sculptor must be destroyed, and the Sculptor banished in order to save their souls, and the souls of the innocent. Yet, other groups, such as the Night of the Hunter, a blood cult founded by the Nightseer, were a doomsday cult that eagerly awaited the destruction of humanity, and revelled in the violence until then. There were those who still followed the creed of the Hunter, but there were those who did not want to end the hunt. The fame and fortune to be made hunting and banishing the Sculptor's creations was intoxicating, and they would stop at nothing to prevent the Sculptor's demise. It was inevitable that the conflicting goals of the Hunter factions would end in violence. What started as small skirmishes quickly became all-out war. There were even rumours that the Sculptor had infiltrated and corrupted the leadership of the AHA itself.